What's up, people? I'm in my home garage and I have not made any new videos, or I would even go so far as to say any really great videos in a long time. You know, a recent video I made with my wife and kiddo in the go-kart body, actually that was a really nice wholesome video. It's not going to get the views though. Nobody watches those kind of things, and frankly I did it with my cell phone. I didn't put that much effort in. Well, the reason being is I don't know what the hell I'm doing on this car channel anymore. And frankly, I lost my drive, lost the fire. The steam cooled and went away. Why? Well, I think it was about 2019 that ended up on VinWiki because I could not get any exposure for the Genius Garage nonprofit, you know, the educational charity there, because we were doing amazing things and I wanted the world to know, and I wanted to build that. I wanted to help people. I ended up being on VinWiki, ended up doing other things, and that really kicked off. 2020 was a big year. Built the Lycan, got a lot of views, saw a lot of people connected. It just really took off. 2021 was difficult because I was going strong, pushing hard. I was pushing so hard. I pushed hard since day one when I get any traction with anything. I'm just not the kind of personality that wants to sit around and do nothing. Just collect a paycheck and go nowhere. Well, what are we building? What's tomorrow? Let's go. Well, I was pushing hard in 2021. 2022 came around. My wife and I had a kid. Didn't really change that much to begin with. But it started to, because then more time went toward the family. And it would be difficult to do longer hours. So that kind of took a bite into things. And 2023, frankly, feels like a total waste. Chased a number of things, none of them panned out. And here we are in 2024. So I do have some neat things coming up. For now on the channel, I think it's going to be some segments of, shall we say, adventures. The Omega car, my high efficiency recyclable car concept. Finishing that up and button it up so I can get the miles per gallon numbers on it. Do my 0 to 60 times with some cool instruments I got. And do it head to head against the old Dodge Viper like I wanted to. And maybe that 2019 Grand Sport Corvette. Because it's time to know what it really did. And I want to talk about that. Beyond that, going to do some sailboat racing. It's actually a lot cooler than you might think. More difficult, edgier, more athletic. It's really neat. And it's kind of like naval warfare meets chess / racing. I'm kind of into that. You know, and you do it with Mother Nature. You put your back into it. And there'll be some high performance car things coming up. And who knows what else. But I guess the thing I wanted to bring up is every big thing I tried, I would say since 2021, failed. No traction, no dice. Didn't work out. Yeah, it just didn't work. You know, and maybe there'll be 1 or 2 trolls that'll go on and try to tell me all my character and talent and psychological flaws as to why they failed, because that makes them feel better about their miserable lives. But the truth is, not everything you do is going to work. And that may or may not be your fault. It could just not be the right time. You know, there are plenty of great ideas that work that aren't going to happen. Because however they plug into the world doesn't want it. It's not going to take it. That could be anything. That could be an invention. That could be a system. That could be a method of doing things, a technique. Doesn't matter. And yeah, I tried racing. That was always my dream. Wanted to race professionally. And I just don't feel satisfied in general in life unless I'm really growing and really testing myself. Doing something I couldn't before. Going faster, farther, bigger, better, more precise. Whatever that is. Growing. And that was the thing I always loved. But I learned something. And the most efficient and concise way I can put this, and I hope this matters because this took me my entire life to learn and nobody says it this way. If you compare the racing world, all of it, and all the professional series from Formula One, NASCAR, IMSA, IndyCar, doesn't matter. Compare it to vintage racing, SCCA, all of it, the racing world. And you compare that to like the classic car and exotic car world, they're kind of the same because they all exist with ego and like sport and art and stuff like that. But the racing world is not a real industry because all of the wealth, all of the funding for a series, a race team, sponsors, whatever, all that, it's just taken from another industry for this to exist. So it's not really a real industry. You know, so many of these professional series or professional feeder series, it's just buy a ride. It's just wealthy families buying it. And there's a narrative about how that works, how we think it works, how it dreams you can work your way up and get somewhere. It's just not reality. And the farther you go in the racing world, at the end of every road is just a wealthy, powerful person that wants to maintain their power and wealth and personal interests and direction. So you either have to be one of those people and carve out your own thing and fight for your spot, or you have to be in the royal court of those people and liked by them to where they find you useful. And you're never going to go beyond that point, period. And if there's already people in that royal court, for whatever thing it is, that feel threatened by you, they will do everything to keep you out. And you know what? You ain't getting in. Well, that's what I learned. The other thing I learned, and this is valuable, there are some actual professional race car drivers, people who get paid just to drive a car. But when you look at how much talent, time, effort they have to put in to do that, and how insanely small number of people who actually get to do that, I'm thinking it's smaller than you think. It's much smaller than you actually think when you're not considering family money. It's not worth it. Just go out, start a business, make your own money, and have your own damn cars. Even Formula One cars. I know one guy that's a professional race car driver, has done very well. I wouldn't want to be him. I'm better off than he is. For one, I got my own cars I can go play with. I get to help other people with their lives in cars. So just because he gets to call himself that and has some pictures driving cars he doesn't own, wouldn't want to do it. But in any case, that was a huge part of what didn't work for me. I failed at realizing that so-called dream. Failed. Not going to happen. Or at least I got to a point where I'm calling it quits. Still going to drive race cars now and then, and who knows what the future might hold. Maybe something really neat is there. But there comes a time when you go, okay, we're done trying. But the other thing is, if you look at the classic car, exotic car world industry, it could be restorations, that could be brand new exotic cars, that could be Concours d'Elegance, it could be rallies, it could be all kinds of things, right? It's a little bit more of an industry because there are still new cars being sold. So there are people buying a product. That's an actual industry. But in that world, there's only so many businesses and jobs you can really have. Well, you're probably not going to be a car manufacturer. You might be able to be a little replica builder or something like that, and you spend all your time building cars for rich guys or something. That's a tough gig. Not a lot of people make that work. You can buy and sell cars. You could have a dealership, a classic car, an exotic car dealership. Well, if you're selling new cars, okay, that's fine. You get your allotment and you figure it all out and there's a business model and all that jazz. But if you're selling used cars or classic cars, part of what you have to do is source the cars, negotiate to buy them cheaply. As cheaply as possible. Free if you can do it. Good luck. And then sell them for as much money as possible. And to do that, that's also a factor oftentimes in the effort and work and resources you have to put into them and know when certain curves come together and how to pick it at the point to maximize your return and blah, blah, blah. I gotta be honest. I'm good at representing a car. I'm great at sales. Honest sales. And I'm pretty good at finding good deals. But I don't like that business. It's empty. All you're doing is trying to leverage a possession from an individual as cheaply as possible, by basically any means possible. And then you may have to put some talent and business strategy into making it better and marketing and how you do that, and when, and paying attention to all kinds of things and trends and predictions. And then you have to convince somebody that it's worth more money than you have in it. Nothing wrong with that. But it does seem like you're taking advantage of others. And it's hard to be an empathetic person and not realize that. And you can tell yourself, well, if they want to sell it cheaper, that's their problem. Stupid, and various other similar things. But what are you doing? You're just playing a game. It's a song and dance. You could call it a con in a way, where the thing is a shiny car. So, how do you feel fulfilled doing that? You get to play with cars. If you like cars, that might crave your sweet tooth for a short time with a lot of cotton candy. It was not enough to fulfill me long term, I'll tell you that. You could offer a service. Hypothetically, you could do major services on Ferraris with timing belts. That's a repeatable thing in a business model. That's not bad. It's got its challenges. There's only so many Ferraris out there. There's a certain amount of competition. There's only so much money you could make. And that's a very skilled service. So it's not really a business you can make be big, and you're not really changing the future for the better. You're just making it so some people that have done well in life get to enjoy their sports car longer. That's fine. That's a neat business. You can do that. But there's only so many things you can really do in that world if you're not out in the mainstream real world and industry. Maybe you're offering a neat product. Well, I've got an idea for a startup company, a material science company, working with sustainable composites. Things like basalt composites, hemp, flax, epoxies derived from pine trees, and experimenting with various materials, and even recycled polymers and metals and such. But I'm really into the natural-based composites. I'm not a tree-hugging loon. Well, I kind of am a tree hugger, but I like trees. But I'm not one of these kooks that worship the religion of climate change. I think it's all political posturing for power and BS. But I do think it's reasonable and respectful and the right thing to do to not have a terrible footprint and impact upon the environment if you can help it, from small to large. So, I'm interested in those things. Why wouldn't I be? I don't like waste. So anyway, material science company, building that, but all the experiments that you're doing to learn more, instead of just creating IP for the sake of IP, you make products. Interesting furniture, interesting home goods, car parts. So then you have a couple other business offshoots. So that's something I'm thinking of. We'll see. The other thing in relation to this and many other things that I've learned is, and this is so damn sad, at least to me, I've never been able to get anybody to do anything together. I am so tired of working by myself. I'm so tired of just doing things alone. I don't know if it's the time we live in. I don't know if I'm shooting too high and it's like a miss. But why does anybody work together? It always ends up being that one person just punches out quicker. They're just kind of there superficially and hope something happens and it's gravy, that kind of crap. Even with, if you think about collaborating on YouTube, who the hell am I going to collaborate with? Genius Garage, like Lotus Exosphere and Daytona Prototype, what am I going to collaborate with? Formula One teams and like modern race teams? No, they don't care. They just want exposure for nothing and screw you. And my channel's not big enough to collaborate with bigger people. The only person I can think of, by the way, that's doing something kind of IndyCar level high-end is Rob Dahm. But I'm going to be honest, his channel's too big. He's too big. Not going to want to do squat with me. That's not how that works. I'm not crying. I'm just being honest. It's the same reason why, and respectfully, I probably not going to collaborate with somebody that's got like 10,000 people on their channel. Generally speaking, when people collaborate, it's things that are alike, but I don't know. I'm into weird stuff, and the channel's only so big, so that's kind of tough to do too. But yeah, I've been disappointed a lot over the last 3 years. And I burned the candle at both ends. Hell, I threw the whole damn thing into the furnace. And I pushed as hard as I can. It's kind of my personality type. If there's any traction, I'm going to push as hard and hard and hard and hard, and that's all there is to it. And it's like, you know what? If this is the whole world and these are all the stones to turn over, I'm going to pick the stones up and I'm going to throw them. Like, I don't care if everybody here hates me. If I can't do anything here, it doesn't matter. I will push as hard as possible to make something happen. Which is fascinating because that's another learning lesson in life. Not everything is best suited by having that technique. Not everything in life is best suited by having the kind of, shall we say, the personality profile of an NFL football coach or an Army general or something. Sometimes you just have to let opportunity come. Water the garden every now and then and let it grow. Maybe once a year there'll be a flower. Can't just keep hitting it with the fire hose. Annoying, isn't it? I had heard that Winston Churchill, when he was young, pissed a lot of people off. He was called a man in a hurry. Well, I didn't know Winston Churchill, but I like his quotes. But I can tell you that I've always been a man in a hurry. I guess it's just because I always believed in what I thought I could do or where I could be and where my peers could be. And that's where I wanted to be. I didn't want to be where I was. Enjoyed a lot of life. Still enjoying. And I'm trying to remind myself daily of all the good things. But damn, I can't turn the fire down. But I don't really know what the hell I'm going to do. And I'm definitely at an age and place in life where I don't want to just do dumb crap on YouTube for the sake of dumb crap on YouTube. It's not the real world, guys. That's why I've been trying to pair this with something real. Obviously in racing and whatnot, in cars, because that's the pair. For the last 3 years. By the way, my contact is all jacked up right now. It's kind of late, but I wanted to do a video. So I got the Omega car coming up pretty soon here, and some neat things. I'm just gonna have some fun, go on some adventures. Maybe I'll come up with some other interesting adventures. I don't know where I'm gonna do it. I really want to ride a motorcycle around Saudi Arabia. That's another one I want to do. I don't know. We'll see what else happens out there. But I hope you guys find your happiness in the real world. I think social media has gotten to an apex point of hysteria. And it's ruining us all. You know, nowadays I'm like, you know what? I just want to go back to buying magazines on the rack and reading articles that somebody had to invest time and effort to actually go to the point of printing that you buy to do. It's better. It just is. And the magazines aren't trying to program you and make you addicted to it. We were all happier back then. I'll be honest, just doing YouTube for the last, 4 or 5 years, you know, it's been a good tool. It helped Genius Garage a bit, not as much as I had hoped. You know, it helped me make something a living and live some dreams. But it also got me so far off track with exactly who I am. It influenced me, clearly. Trying to get views, you're pushing hard to do it. And I got away from things that I liked. You know, I started to change. I changed. My behavior changed. Things I was into changed. My sensitivities about others changed. And in many ways, I became a bitter old man. Because I lived like 5 lifetimes in the span of a few years in some small aspects. And it's kind of crazy doing this. It's a lot crazy. It's insane, psychotic. And we're not at a point in human history that we know how the hell to deal with this. There's thousands of years of human history. Social media and the internet has come by in a blink of an eye. We don't know how the hell to deal with this at all. We don't have the emotional maturity. We don't have the EQ and IQ. We can't handle this. We just gave all of humanity a bunch of meth. You know, like this isn't human nature. I don't know, guys. It has been fun. I think there's still more fun to have. But I'm trying to figure out what the hell I'm doing with my life. Career-wise, I got a nice family. Got nice toys and good experiences and good friends. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I mean, like, I know what I'm doing. I've got directions to go, plans to execute them, but I don't have anybody to work with. And that stinks. I still mentor the students at Genius Garage, but damn it, can it be my turn one of these days? They get great careers. I don't know. In the last few years, I've had numbers of times people try to control me. You know, basically kind of con me into a place that suits them, or even turn me into a puppet. And that doesn't work. Never has worked. Certainly not for any teachers when I was younger. I don't know why it's so hard to find anybody to work together with professionally. I fear the United States doesn't want to build anything new anymore. I fear we're in the stage of just destroying others for personal gain, stealing effectively. And I don't want being a dancing clown in a fishbowl of social media to be the best dream or best career. I guess if it has to be, it has to be, but that's all I got. So in any case, that's why I haven't been making much lately. Kind of took some things off my channel. Because in terms of the car world, exotic car world, racing world, all this hobby world, it's not worth rocking the boat. You know, there's a lot of BS that happens out there. There's a lot of lies. There's a lot of underhanded leveraging, fakes, blinds. It's just all of it. It's all there. Does it matter? And do I have to be the Karen to talk about it? I thought it mattered. Because when I started this channel, I just wanted to tell the truth. That's the one thing I knew I could do. And go on a journey, bring everybody along. But that is cool sometimes. And I think helpful all the time. but doesn't necessarily make a good YouTube channel. So, I hope my tone was okay for you guys. I'm not unhappy. I do know I lost my way. I know a lot of things I tried that I thought would work or should work didn't. And that's pretty disappointing. In some ways, I feel like I've wasted some years, time in my life with things that didn't happen other than learning. But sometimes you have to go through these journeys and fall flat on your face and get kicked in the balls and punched in the stomach and have a tooth knocked out to be in the right frame of mind to do whatever it is you're going to do. I had heard someone say that men get married when they're ready rather than if a right person comes along, which is kind of sad to say. I don't know if that's true, but I do know, or at least think that it's very important for people, maybe marriage as an example, or maybe a time to go to school, or time to do anything. Maybe it's a time to start a project. There's an optimal time in life to do things because the person is ready to make the most of it. So as an example, when I'm looking at applications and interviewing people for Genius Garage, I try to find students that are also at the right time in their career, academic career, where their time at Genius Garage is going to have the most profound impact upon them. You don't want to get them too soon. You don't want to get them too late. It won't have the most meaning or positive impact on their life. So, yeah, sometimes the crappy journeys make you better suited for bigger, better things. I think oftentimes the more theological people or spiritual people out there will call that a God wink, a godly wink or nudge, or some divine will. Sometimes you have to go through the thorns in the forest to be strong enough or learn enough to do good things another time. But in any case, it does seem natural. We don't always get to do what we want when we want to do it. We don't get to get everything. We don't get to dream everything. And that's okay. Because if you're striving and fighting and learning and growing in a positive, constructive way to go somewhere, you're going to go somewhere. And good things are going to happen. You have good experiences, and hopefully you'll find a way to be fulfilled and have a great career in life. But that's kind of the experience too. I think that's maybe why some artists never finish projects and some things are left unfinished. I left my Omega car unfinished for a decade because sometimes there still has to be that thing you can grab for. You don't want it to be over. I think it was the opening scene of the new Star Trek Picard series, where old Picard, I think he was dreaming, and he was on the 10 forward deck with Data, and they're playing chess. And Data said to him, "You're stalling." And Picard, old Picard, said, "I don't want the game to end." Everybody's got to have a star to shoot for and a shot to take. Otherwise, it's not much fun to just sit out in the ocean bobbing with no sails. What's that poem? All I ask is a tall ship and a star to steer her by. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I want. See you guys next time.